a guy we've seen a few times on some of our Kazakhstan fight nights. Viktor Коточигов in action. He's unbeaten in 11. They've gone for Andreya Исаева, who's got plenty of experience over the years as well. As a veteran now, but difficult to get matches for Коточигов in the current climate. So this is quite a good one, and the likelihood this will go some rounds. You can see at the age of 40, the man from Minsk in Belarus, plenty of experience, plenty of rounds in his belt, under his belt as well. So he's going to pose a few problems and hopefully take Коточигов some rounds tonight.
Minsk, Belarus, Андрея Исаева,
And here he comes. Looks pretty nonplussed about it, doesn't he? And so he should be, because he's got 368 rounds under his belt and in the locker for experience. He actually fought for the European title about a decade ago as well. So much sort of 10 and 12 round experience for this man.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opening representing blue corner from Taraz, Kazakhstan. Qarsalayinglar, Viktor Коточигов!
Well, we've seen plenty of Viktor Коточигов, myself and Barry. We actually saw him at York Hall in London last April. And he's making his way to the ring to another pretty famous ring walk tune as well. This will take you back to Vladimir Klitschko, who made this ring walk on so many occasions in big fights. And the bigger fights await Viktor Коточигов. Really solid jab, everything he does with a purpose. And he's looked strong, winning most rounds in his career so far. And here he is, first outing of the new year.
Gentlemen, let me introduce two boxers. First, I representing a red corner. He is from Belarus, Minsk. He is an ex-IBF European champion, professional record. 30 wins, 17 losses, 9 wins by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Андрея Исаева! His opponent, representing blue corner from Taraz, Kazakhstan. He is a WBC Intercontinental Champion. He is a 168 centimeters tall. His weight is 61.7 kilogram. Professional record of the boxer, 11 wins, no losses, 4 wins by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Qarsalayinglar, Viktor Коточигов!
Қазақ елінде күндер келді күндер өткен байтақ жерімде.
Не нарушаем правила. Назад по углам. Удачи. Пожали руки. Удачи.
Right, here we go then. Penultimate fight on our bill tonight, and it's Viktor Коточигov. It's the 4th successive fight of his that Barry and I have commentated on. He's got a really good jab. Everything he does, Barry, is solid if unspectacular. The only knock on Коточигov would be maybe the lack of that finishing punch so far in his career. It's not been for the want of trying. When we saw him at York Hall last April, it was only the insane bravery of Andrei Pudasov's, the Latvian, that kept him in the fight that night. And to be honest, through halfway when we saw him in December, it did look like he was going to stop the Argentinian Javier Clavero, who kind of toughed it out down the stretch and somehow found a way to a lopsided points defeat. But he's pretty solid so far in his career, Коточигov.
Yeah, he keeps his shape well, and you got good balance as you can already see here. But yeah, it's not so much the KO punch. Some things you've got and you haven't got. It's the going through the gears when he has a guy maybe on the rope a little bit, or maybe hurt or under a bit of pressure. You haven't really got the gear, or hadn't shown how to go through the gears yet. And if he can produce that, just up the pace now and again, then I think he steps up to the next level quite comfortable.
Well, I'll tell you what will be interesting for him. He just landed a jab and then another right hand to the body, and he got a reaction there from Исаева, as if to say that he suggested it was low. Definitely wasn't low, and that just might be an avenue to explore for Коточигов, because over the years Исаева has been pretty tough to budge. He's only been stopped twice, and one of those was very late on from Britain's world title challenger Kevin Mitchell about 14 or so years ago. And that will seem a long time ago. Kevin's had his feet up. Well, not his feet up. He's been sort of still busy involved with training fighters these days. But it certainly, in terms of being in the ring, he's had his feet up for a few years.
If he can transfer how good he was as a fighter to a trainer, then he'll be one of our very best. I'm pretty sure.
That's a memorable fight, didn't he?
Which one?
Again, well, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but obviously the Linares world title challenge
so
late
close
on in his career was an absolute cracker. Nice left hand there from Коточигов. It's a pretty business-like approach from him at the start of this round.
Well, that's what he is, isn't he? He's very business, very methodical, business-like. Doesn't make many mistakes. Thinks about his work all the time. A nice wide stance, so you got a good firm base to work off. But again, the criticisms we've had is maybe sometimes the second, third gear that he needs to go through just to step him up to the next level, you would feel.
Yeah, good start for him. So, first 3 minutes of this one completed. First outing since December as well for Viktor Kotochigov. 27 now. And beaten in the 11 outings so far. As I said, in terms of experience, Исаев's had 300 or more rounds in his long career, now 40 years old. The Belarusian.
Seconds out. Round two.
Into round two. The difficulty for Kotochigov previously had been the lack of sort of busyness in his career, but last year linking up with MTK, 4 fights, the first time in sort of good 2.5 years or so that he'd put that sort of sequence of fights together, and I think it really showed. He got that WBC international title as well. He would have defended that tonight, but obviously travel restrictions making it difficult to get the right sort of opponents. I think he would have had an international, maybe a Mexican, South American opponent tonight. That hasn't been possible, hence the reason Исаева has stepped up to answer the call. And Kotochigov is going about it in the right fashion. Lands another body shot. Maybe like to see a bit more of that, given the reaction we got from Исаева in the first moments.
I think he maybe just a bigger step behind the jab there of Kotochigov. Just to put a bit more pressure on Исаева there. And every time he throws the jab, just back him up with a double up and push him. So jab to the head, jab to the chest. Just stop that movement of him as well. Push him back, put him under pressure, and line him up for that stronger right hand. Footwork's good there from Kotochigov there, just cutting the ring off.
There again, you get just a little tell, just a little complaint from Исаева.
I think Исаева was just saying it's a little bit low possibly, but it looked okay to me. Yeah,
whether it might not be a tell, maybe he's just, you get some boxers who are almost like commentators, don't they? So in a sense, they do sort of almost remark on events that go on in a fight.
That's good right hand there from Коточигов.
Just sense with Коточigov, he's set up for him tonight to look good.
He's boxing well. That's the thing that we criticise him. He boxes well. He does some lovely stuff. Sometimes you feel he's always boxing within himself. I guess that's maybe a better appraisal. He's always just boxing within himself, which means that's good that he's comfortable. But for that little shining moment, you just think just step out of it a little bit more. And in a fight, especially a fight like this, where there's not much fear for you, then you could maybe commit a little bit more.
He's the naturally bigger man too. Landed a couple of shots. You can see he's the bigger man. And Исаев in the last sort of couple of years has fought a lightweight, but he fought Rendell Monroe at bantamweight 7 years ago, to give you an idea of sort of how he sort of stepped up as he's got older. Good round that. I think Коточигов could make an impression here tonight. Another good solid round from Коточигов. Just a little glimpses of the body language of Исаев. I just wonder if Коточигов can put a few sequences together. He could maybe put him in a bit of bother here tonight.
That was a lovely first movement there from Коточигов. There, a little slip to the left, and then almost like Povetkin last night with a lovely left uppercut. Not quite the same result though, I'm afraid.
About 8 stone lighter.
You're not far off there, actually, are you?
Seconds out. Round 3.
Well, certainly coming into this one tonight, on paper it did look like that a kind of solid points win was on the card for Коточигов. But seeing the first couple of rounds, seen the size of him and one or two of the reactions from Исаев, I just wonder if maybe Коточигов could make what would be a bit of a statement on paper become reality here. He's just starting to up the ante now.
Yeah, he is there. Just needed to take a little half a step back there when he landed with a good left hook. Just stayed a little bit too close.
Nice jab there from Коточигов too. Oh, there's a body shot. Yes, hurt him. Just a little moments in the first round made you think that could be the danger zone. I'm not so sure he can get up from this. This is a count, and the referee seeing him he got to 9. He's waved it off, the referee, and a shrug of the shoulders from Исаев. He is willing to go on. But that was a fantastic shot from Коточигов.
It was. Исаев was there going, who's going to pick my gum shield up?
And now he kicks it across the floor himself. I just had a sense early on that the body might be the making of the fight for Коточигов tonight. And I do feel, Barry, as much as Исаев could have gone on there, I think Коточигov would have got to him sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think so. I think he looked a bit more assertive, and I think you're right about. I think you had it all spot on, Alex. Actually, you should you're doing my job as well now. All of a sudden,
yeah, the wage packet's not going to reflect it.
But either way, he was good, and I think and he sort of built up in the rounds, got a little bit more assertive, and he was cutting the ring out quite effectively, and he came out in this round with a little bit more intent than the previous, didn't he? I think that was a thing, and he did what you have to do when you're up against guys who are. He's been boxing at a decent level now, Коточигов, and they want to step him up. I'm pretty sure of that, and he went through the gears for the first time. Really, he very rarely does that. He looks also compact and good and neat with his work, but the lack of gears was the criticism. I think he sort of started to go through him in that fight, and I hope if he can produce that sort of work ethic against higher quality opposition, then I think he will achieve some of the potential that we've seen glimpses of.
Well, Исаев 40 now, and perhaps maybe wasn't as kind of hard trained, hard fit as he might otherwise have been, but not many people get to him, and certainly on paper that's a fantastic result for Viktor Коточigov.
Ladies and gentlemen, on first minute, 16 seconds of round 3. Win by technical knockout. Blue corner, Viktor Коточигов.
A little bit of menace from Viktor Kotochigov, and that's that the first stoppage for him